This is a bicycle helmet. A lot of people riding skateboards, scooters, bikes wear this at skate parks or just riding around on the streets. These are typically meant to withstand a lot more smaller impacts to the helmet, but after a while they still need to be replaced, and especially if there is a large impact put onto them. And finally, this type of helmet is called a motocross helmet. This is for motocross riders, BMX riders, who go typically faster than people wearing the bicycle helmets, but not quite as fast as automobile racers and things like that, where they need more protection over their face, but not quite as much because it's not going 60 miles an hour like the automobile racers. So with those helmets, they're built to withstand a lot of kind of medium impact, where if you're riding a bike as fast as you can and you fall over, you'll still be okay and you won't have to replace the helmet. And you can crash a bunch of times with that on. It's not preferred, but yeah. Alright, so the certifications for helmets. This is ASTM and DOT are the companies that set certifications for helmets. DOT is the Department of Transportation specific requirements for helmets. And Schnell is a private rating system used by a lot of racing sports, because it was based out from a man who was racing a car and he crashed, and because his helmet wasn't up to code, he ended up dying from it. So his family started this foundation to try and prove to people that helmets are really important, especially in high impact sports, and that if you don't have the proper helmet for it, it's doing you no good to wear that helmet. So this picture is just showing basically how they test and certify the different helmets. This specifically has a dummy head that they will load a bunch of weight onto and then drop it with the helmet on it onto a metal plate, and then see how much the helmet cracks, how much force the head goes onto, and all that goes into a computer and gets read to tell whether or not that person would have been okay from that, if they would have had concussions from it, things like that. And there are a bunch of different tests where it drops weights on specific points on the helmet to see throughout the different types of sports that you could be doing, if you'd be alright in doing those. Alright, and next, the proper use of helmets. So first you need to have the proper helmet for your sport. If you're racing a bike, you're not going to want to have just a bicycle helmet. You need the actual face protection for it. Next, the buckles and straps. Most bicycle helmets just have buckles on it because you're not going to be under a lot of impact, so they won't necessarily come off as easily. In this picture, it shows a helmet that has straps on it, but the kid in the picture didn't do up the straps, so as soon as he wrecked, it came flying off and did him no good. So there it shows you actually need to use the helmet how it's advised to use, or else again it's not going to do any good for you. You're just going to end up having your helmet fly off while you're wrecking. And then parts of the helmets, the interior foam is the portion of your helmet that is made to break when there's an impact. It's made so it crushes to slow down your impact and make it where your head doesn't get as hurt. And the outer shell is what initially takes the impact and spreads it out across the helmet. So there's not as much impact in one specific part of your head. Alright, and in conclusion, brain injuries are really serious. They're happening more and more with more people trying extreme sports and more people doing all these different things. But it is very important to use not only helmets, but to use the proper helmets and use them in the ways that they're said to be used, or else they're not going to do you any good if you're using the wrong thing. So yeah, I urge you guys all to use the right helmet.